Hey guys, it's Miss Hippenmeyer here, and today, in this first video, we're going to be comparing integers using inequalities. Take a look at the first example. We are supposed to say whether 3 is greater than 4, 3 is less than 4, or 3 is equal to 4. To show your work for these kinds of problems, I want you to go ahead and plot both 3 and 4 on the number line. So I'm going to grab a color, and then I'm going to plot 3 and 4 on both the horizontal number line and then also on the vertical number line. And then I want you to remember that as you move to the right on the horizontal number line, the numbers grow larger. And then as you move to the left on the horizontal number line, the numbers grow smaller and smaller and smaller. Then look at the vertical number line. As you move downwards, the numbers get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And as you move upwards on the vertical number line, the numbers become larger and larger and larger and larger. Now that we've talked about that, you probably already realized that 3 is less than 4. And the reasoning I'm going to use to explain this is showing the number line. So if you look at the number line, you can see that 3 is further to the left. And the further to the left you go, the smaller the numbers become. So if 3 is to the left of the 4, well then 3 is smaller. You could also use the same reasoning on the vertical number line, but we would say that since 3 is lower than 4 on the number line, as you move downwards on the number line, the numbers become smaller and smaller. So 3 being below 4 on a vertical number line means that it's smaller than 4. All right, let's continue. Now, let's go ahead and look at -3 and -4. So the first thing you need to do is show your work. So plot on the number line -3 and -4. It's easier for me to use arrows, but if you want to use a dot or something else to plot your points, you may. I just had trouble digitally showing a dot. All right, so let's compare -3 to -4. So let's look at the horizontal number line. So -3 is to the right of -4. And the further you move to the right on the horizontal number line, the larger the numbers become. So -3 is actually greater than -4. And you can also say this because of its distance from 0. -3 is not as far from 0. So it's closer to 0. It's closer to these positive numbers. If you look at the vertical number line, -3 is above -4. And as you move upwards on the vertical number line, the numbers become larger. So -3 is larger than -4. Let's look at our next example. We have a set of numbers that are opposites. We have 2 and -2. And I'm just going to choose to use the vertical number line this time. You are free to just use one number line. You don't have to use both. So let's compare 2 to -2. So 2 is higher up on the number line, so it is larger than -2. And I hope that you know that all of the positive numbers, any positive number is going to be greater than the negative numbers because the positive numbers are higher up on the vertical number line than the negative numbers. And remember, we need to be able to read this two ways. So I could say, if I read it from left to right, 2 is greater than -2, or if I read it from right to left, oops, I could say that 2 is less than +2. All right, let's keep moving. The next example is 0 is less than 1, and this time I'm going to use the horizontal number line. So I mark 0, and I also plot -1, and then I compare them, and 0 is further to the right on the number line. And as you move to the right on the number line, the numbers grow larger. So 0 is greater than -1. We have one more example to look at, -4 compared to -1, and I'll go back to the vertical number line. So -4 is being compared to -1. So think about where -4 is in relationship to, let's talk about 0 this time. Okay, in relationship to 0, -4 is further below 0 than -1. So -4 is further down, meaning it's smaller. The further down you go on the vertical number line, the smaller the number becomes. So -4 is less than -1, and that is our final integer comparison.